and let's bring on our next guest, a very grainy Brian Daigle. You all right, Brian?
Yeah, I'm all right. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you perfectly. How are you?
Good. How are we doing? I'm good, boys. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Just seen Spurs batter the Lion City Sailors 5-1. How are you feeling after that game? Is there too much you can read into it? Or anything?
Listen, I think the actual result and score, we kind of knew it was going to be this kind of high-scoring game, didn't we? I think what we can take away from this is performances, and there were, all right, it's a very weak opposition, but there are certain performances that you can certainly take out. First half for sure, I think we have a very, very special player in Papa Matasar. I really do. I think he's miles ahead of Skip already. I think he's, until Bentancur comes back for that kind of box-to-box or defensive or deep midfielder, I think he's our first choice. Even if Højbjerg's there, I really, really, really think he's going to be magnificent for us. Basuma and Maddison were good as well in that first half, but obviously the defence is just absolutely shambolic. You look at the midfield and forward, looks like it's taking some real shape and some real understanding. Just that back line is just all over the place, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's going to be the case until we sort out that defence, which we haven't touched this summer, unfortunately, barring the signing of Vicario. What did you think
Don't worry, Sim. Ashley Phillips is coming.
Oh, well, is he, though? Is he?
We're trying to get a compromise, aren't we? There will be a compromise.
Exactly.
Always is.
We'll get 500 grand off, don't worry. Have you ever, what did you make of Son's first look at him at left wing in an Ange system?
I'll be so. I spoke about obviously healthy bad midfield. I wouldn't say I'm concerned about Son. He just needs to get into it. I am concerned about Kulusevski. I am concerned about Kulusevski. I think Porro. I think I saw more from Porro at the end of the season in attack than we have recently at the end of last season and the beginning of this pre-season in Kulusevski. And he just can't defend. He cannot defend for the life of him. He needs to be challenging Kulu up there and far away from right wing back or right back. And Emerson needs to be right back. Son, I'm sure, will grow into it. But the good thing is now we have a Solomon who could do it. But I think that right side, Kulu will come good again. I think Kulu is a fantastic player. But I think Porro is the number one right winger at the moment. I'm concerned about Kulusevski.
Yeah, I mean, a couple more players that we thought were potentially, or most of us thought were definitely out the door in Perisic and Giovanni Lo Celso, both of them performing really well in pre-season so far. Yeah. Has that made you rethink the situations for them?
Well, there's me talking about Solomon. Yeah, Perisic. You got to remember, when we signed Perisic last season, I was like, that's our marquee signing. I was delighted with him, but we all saw attacking. He's still the business, but defensively, he just can't cut the mustard anymore. And the two games he's had, he's certainly had an impact, hasn't he? From whether he's gone over to the right for corners or anything, or is hugging that left. And Lo Celso looks like he's come back with a point to prove. Listen, again, we can all talk about the teams we played in his pre-season, but he can only come and say, right, I want to put a marker down and show what I'm going to give and what I can do to this team. And you've got to say he's had two opportunities, and he's grabbed them both, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Ange seems to really like Lo Celso as well. And he seems to be thinking of a future with him potentially. He was asked, about reports in Spain about Lo Celso potentially saying. He said, you don't have to go to Spain, mate. You can ask me. I'm right here. He said, I like Lo Celso. So you think there's a good chance he'll stay,
mate?
Sim, first of all, props to you on that good attempt of an Australian accent there with the mate. Very, very. Don't think I didn't hear it. I've known you too long. I can pick that up. Do you know what? Talking of Andrew, you can see it with Richarlison as well. He's got that Pochettino, Harry Redknapp man management down, hasn't he? You can even see it in the press conferences. This is a different kettle of fish to the previous two managers. He really is installing a belief and a confidence in the players, and is one of those that want them to express themselves. And you know what? again, these players are taking their opportunities when they have them. Lo Celso, he's pushing for a starting place. I think. I think he could be of huge impact this summer. I think any doubt that he should be out on loan or out the door, I think this guy has bought at least till January to show. Like we said, this is 2 pre-season. It could be a flash in the pan, but I don't believe it is. He has certainly bought himself the right to prove himself to at least till January, and then going forward, he's making things happen.
Yeah. What's your head saying about the Kane situation? 2 lackluster performances in pre-season so far. Do you think the speculation is playing on his mind?
I think. Listen, it's got to be. It's relentless. Look, you. How many times, or how many minutes do you reckon you boys have spoken about Harry Kane in the last few weeks?
Way too many. That's for sure.
You know what I mean? And that's just us talking about it as content creators, as guests on shows, on social media, in the comments. It's
the whole of Germany.
Compared to what Harry Kane is literally having to live through day in, day out, day in, day out. We've got to remember, he came back from training Wednesday. 2 days later, he's on a flight to Australia. Got to get over like the rest of the team, get over the jet lag and acclimatise and all that. Then he's played a game. Then they're on a flight straight to Thailand, just to have it washed off. Then they're on another flight. It's grueling. It's draining on them. Not just the playing football. Their bodies. So does this make me believe that Harry Kane isn't, if he's still at Tottenham, isn't going to be fit and firing and banging in goals come August? Hell no. Hell no. Go on, Tim.
No. Go on. Finish your thought.
No, I was just about to say, I don't think we can read too much into it. Listen, it hasn't been a great pre-season for him, but then the guy started a season and hasn't had great Augusts, and then look what he does. So I think if we look at Harry Kane's track record, whether he's had a hot pre-season or a poor pre-season, we know what happens when it comes to the most important thing. So it's not scaring me.
Brian, we can't have you here without talking about the certain ownership.
No, why? Brian was live at 6 a.m. today talking about it.
Mate.
It's only right. Look, Joe Lewis, is being indicted by the US government over insider trading charges. A lot of people are dismissing this as something. Spurs, especially. Sorry, I should say Spurs are dismissing it as something that doesn't affect the club anymore. It's completely unconnected. What's your take on it? Should Spurs fans be interested in this, or is it something that's completely irrelevant to us?
I don't think you can say completely irrelevant. I listen. When you look at this isn't a busted tail light and a police person has pulled you over. This isn't like you and I going to court together, Simeon, and it's Daigle versus Daniel. This is the US state attorney versus Joe Lewis. Mm-hmm. You've also got to look at it. When it got mentioned, the Paratici was up for what we all know what he was up for. A large majority of this fan base were, oh my God, this can't be happening. He's got to get sacked. The club has been brought into disrepute. The club can't have this. It's disgusting. Where all of a sudden it's Joe Lewis, and the excuses that are coming out and everything from people and what I'm hearing. Oh, it's a slap on the wrist, and he wasn't. It's got nothing to do with Spurs. It's personal. This is big. Look what happened with Juventus. And it's amazing the amount of people that went to bed last night, fell asleep and woke up with a Harvard doctorate in US financial and law and regulations is incredible. This is big news. Big news. Do I think this forces a sale from Tottenham Hotspur? No, I don't think it forces a sale. I don't think Tottenham are going to have to say, well, we're going to have to put this club on the market. Do I think this is going to have do I think Joe Lewis is going to do prison time? No, I don't, and I don't care. He's 86-year-old. I don't care if he does prison time or not. What does matter is this club is a laughing stock again. This club that is a world-famous club that stands for something has been brought into disrepute again. Also, what you got to look at it, when you look at sports stars, actors, celebrities that get done for whatever they've done. The sponsors drop them like hotcakes. They don't want anything to do with them. I will tell you now, and I said this to Ben earlier, the NFL, and I know from living over in North America, and if North American people are in the chat, feel free to comment. They absolutely, this is like the biggest no to them. This is the biggest. No, their reputation is everything to them, everything. Do I see this being a major issue with them? Yes, I do. Do I see sponsors maybe pulling out? Yes, I do. Do I see more ramifications? Yes, I do. I do not think this means, oh, well done, all our jobs are done, the club's up for sale. This is going to go on for a little while. There's a lot more that's going to come out. And I think commercially, this in the coming weeks, we're going to see big things happen at Tottenham. I really, really do. And especially from the NFL.
Do you know, there's a lot of there was a lot of positivity surrounding, the appointment of Ange and, potentially a different way of playing, and a lot of the fans were starting to get on side with the club after a disastrous season last season.
Yep.
Do you think this news puts the ownership squarely back at the forefront for you?
Listen, what people seem to remember or forget with us people that are leaving out, and especially us that protest, we could separate the football club and the business. We can separate them. We all support Ange, and I'm very, very excited for Ange. I'm very, very excited with what I'm seeing. I'm very excited with what he can do. This is world. The whole world are talking about this incident with Joe Lewis. It's spreading like wildfire. This is huge news. It has put this bang smack in the middle, but you can have talk about this as well as what's going on at the football club. And what's going on with the football club is it is very, very positive. And what's going on the business side right now is very, very negative. Simple.
All right, fair enough. Brian, any more closing comments you want to make?
Of course, just one. And as always, Levy out.
Good to have you on again, my brother. I'll speak to you soon.